Almost 4 months into 2025, and conference season has started for some of us. On this episode, we recap with Mr. Steve Seitner, our Chief Operating Officer, what he's seen so far from our friends in the industry. This is Atlas All Access. All right, my friend, welcome back.
Here we go. April. Tax day of all days.
It is tax. Well, this is technically filming on tax day.
Yeah, I guess we're going to see what kind of a lag time we have between filming and distribution, huh?
Talk to Nathan about that.
Hey, no judgment.
There we go.
Hey, all things in time.
All right, so you've been on the road.
Yes, sir.
Recap for me just kind of where you were, what you've done, and what you've seen so far for in these past 3 months.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot going on at the beginning of the year. Our friends cross country had a meeting in February down at their corporate office. A couple real positive takeaways there. There's some conversation about what their future looks like within their walls. Mm-hmm. But I really appreciated a little bit of the advice they'd given. There was something that they had said that a lot of the companies hadn't provided us, a lot of the other vendors or MSPs hadn't shared, and maybe it is exclusive thought process of cross country, but it did give us a lot of direction to come back and talk to our recruiters about, and it was just what specialties are they particularly looking for in volume right now. We came back knowing that, at least within their book of clients, the area where we can best partner with them is in trying to recruit some of the more profit-oriented roles for hospitals like labor and delivery, the operating room, cath lab, and that that is going to probably be a strong outlook for the remainder of the year. So when we get the chance to sit there and talk with our MSP partners, that in turn get to talk to the hospitals, they let us come back and talk to our staff in a way that we just aren't capable of doing because we have such limited interaction with the actual hospital employees. So we believe the outlook, at least in areas like labor and delivery, the operating room, cath lab, on the nursing side, probably will have a stronger outlook for the remainder of the year, and we're going to try and react to that in our recruiting efforts. And then starting next week, got about four out of 5 weeks of travel again, but the early return was in Florida with our friends from Healthtrust, an annual partnership program they put on a summit with their top 20 vendors, which we're very proud to be a part of.
Absolutely.
And then found myself in Boston last week for another partner of ours up there, Hallmark, that co-branded an event with AONL, a conference surrounding nurse leadership.
Gotcha.
And now that AONL is more than just travel nurse industry. It's all things affecting clinical settings that nurse leaders kind of put their fingerprint on. But yeah, that's where I've been the last couple of weeks.
As you went to these, let's start with Healthtrust first, because that one always, like you said, we're top 20 with them, top 20 vendors in the industry with them. We're also there, top 19 if you include us. Give me an idea of kind of what the temperature was of the agencies that were there, and then how Healthtrust kind of played into all of that.
Yeah, there's cautious optimism with a heavy dose of reality at this point. We are now probably on the back end of at least 18 months of what we would consider a slowdown in the industry. And when I talk about the industry, again, Atlas is pretty focused on acute care, travel nursing, travel allied health has been a boom for us. But that is really where our focus is. We are not a home health agency. We are not a per diem agency. Right. We don't touch locum tenens. So, when we go to these things, the environment and the conversation is probably bigger than it was. So when I sit down and I hear all the feedback, I do have to compartmentalize a little bit, because some of our friends within the industry have opened up some doors and gone into some areas we're still not touching. And some of those areas have a fairly progressive outlook, like locum tenens, the per diem world, right? We just don't know that we can do it great yet, so we're not going to try unless we're confident that we can be great at it, right? So there is some optimism out there in some of those areas. Now, SIA kind of dropped a bomb on the industry right before most of this travel started happening, and they abridged or amended their 2025 outlook that they put out in November. As of November, staffing industry analysts had predicted roughly about a 5% increase for the travel healthcare industry, with travel nursing getting their part of the growth, travel allied probably doing a little better than travel nursing. But that publication was amended at their event in Fort Lauderdale at the SIA Executive Forum. So now the travel nurse industry's outlook is negative 12%.
Yeah.
Allied even, which is doing really well within our walls, is expected to be at a negative 7%. So there's always that. It's nice to have a reference point to compare yourself against. Just because they're saying it's going to end up that way doesn't mean that's what it has to be here at Atlas.
Right.
But if you're the type to just sit back and wait for it to be easy, this isn't going to be a great time. I shared a video last week with a bunch of our staff, the Duke women's coach. If you haven't heard this speech and if this doesn't get you fired up, even as a parent, share this with your kids. As a boss, share this with your employees. As a friend, share it with somebody who's just going through some stuff right now. But she talks about the idea of handling hard better. And I don't know how I missed this. This has been out for a couple of years now. For me, it was inspiring. And right now, there's nothing easy about what this industry is facing. And if you're the type that needs it to be easy to excel, you probably need to look for something else right now. If you're a competitive individual who likes to compete and likes to win, there's still plenty of opportunity to be great right now.
We all wait in life for things to get easier. Think in your own life, if you've waited for something to get easier. Oh, I just got to get through this and then it'll be easy. I've just got to get through preseason and then it'll be okay. I've just got to get through my junior year of high school and then the classes are going to get easier. Or I've just got to get to my spring of my senior year of college and it's going to be easier. It's what we do. We wait for stuff to get easier. It will never get easier. What happens is you handle hard better. That's what happens. Most people think that it's going to get easier. Life is going to get easier. Basketball is going to get easier. School's going to get easier. It never gets easier. What happens is you become someone that handles hard stuff better. So that's a mental shift that has to occur in each of your brains. It has to. Because if you go around waiting for stuff to get easier in life, it's never going to happen. And then what happens? Oh, it's so hard. Oh, I can't do it. Oh, I don't know when is it going to be easy for me? Oh, it's easy for other people. It's not. It's hard. And the second we see you handling stuff, handling hard better, what are we going to do? We're going to make it harder. We're going to make it harder. Because we're preparing for you for when you leave here. Not just basketball and life. And if you think life, when you leave college, is going to be all of a sudden get easy because you graduated and you got a Duke degree, it's not going to get easier. It's going to get harder. So make yourself a person that handles hard well. Not someone that's waiting for the easy. Because if you have a meaningful pursuit in life, it will never be easy. If you're trying to win a championship, if you're trying to have a family, ask your parents, do you think it was ever easy for them to raise kids? Karen, is it easy? It's not. Any meaningful pursuit in life, if you want to be successful at it, it goes to the people that handle hard well.
Okay, so I think it's important, and going back to SIA, I think I kind of share the Shane Jackson kind of opinion on what that actually is, right? I mean, no one knows. And Shane said it on stage at the SIA Healthcare last year that, SIA is very good at projecting 3 years after it actually happens. So I know what's happening within our walls. Yeah. I know what's happening within our friends' walls to a certain extent. And I think cautious optimism is a very, very good way to explain what's happening right now.
Yeah, I think what he said is he's really good. They're really good at like recapping what has happened in the past couple of years, yes. Right? And it was almost prophetic. Now I don't want to give him too much credit because I think a lot of people have felt the exact same way for a long time.
Yeah.
But I'll give him a tremendous amount of credit in the fact that he had the stones to sit on stage and say it out loud what a lot of people have been thinking
in front of all of us.
In front of all of us, and on stage with a bunch of his frenemies, his friendly, competitors, and tremendous credit to the guy. The guy's a motivational mind. One heck of a brand he's established out there in Jackson and their family of companies. But walking out of that thing, it kind of felt like a real dose of reality everybody needed to hear. So it was impressive.
Yep.
You talk about knowing what we're doing here. Some of the things I think we're getting excited about is, I don't want to say we're ever behind or admit defeat or failure, because that's just not who I am, and I don't believe that we found ourselves in that position. But based on how we've approached a couple of things, we were a little slower to adopt some of the AI that everybody has talked about, some of the tech tools that are out there. We were blessed about a year ago this time to add a cornerstone member of our company within our executive suite named Joel Wiersma. He is that tech mind that we've lacked. And the amount of catch up that we have played, not Heinz, but actual making up the gap between us and our tech compared to some of the other companies out there has been pretty fun to sit there and watch. And I do feel that we are going to be in a much more competitive spot for the remainder of the year than maybe we were for the last year. So I'm excited to see that play out.
It'd be fun to share the behind the scenes, because as much as Joel is that tech mind where he really understands where the industry's going from an AI standpoint, or from I wouldn't say recruiterless model, because that's not where we're going.
We can't be that.
No, not at all. But I still believe that relationship is still vitally important, but then cutting off as much of the top of that funnel as possible. So the clinician is doing the work at the top that the recruiter had done before, because it was a very manual process that the clinician's very happy to do right now. This isn't because we're asking for anything additional. It's very easy for them to do it now with the use of technology. And then the back and forth and the great struggle that Joel and I have together about, no, we got to keep our humanity, and no, we have to move more towards that AI is a lot of fun. I wish you could see that part, because it is something that is changing in the world. And I don't want to be so bold as to say like our way of life is the correct way of life for this. The industry is ever changing, and I think we're seeing that right now within our walls.
Yeah, and maybe it's not the correct way of life forever is maybe the way to look at it, right?
Yeah.
Just got to be willing to adapt and blend in with what becomes normal. Unless there's still just a massive movement of individuals that demand nonstop exclusive human interaction. We will have that option too, but we've got to be smarter about how we use our resources.
Okay, so last question then. Does anything that you've seen on your travels so far, or what you anticipate coming over the next couple of visits, change your outlook for this year at all?
I think so, and I think where this is gonna lead me is, unfortunately, a lot of expenses have started adding up for the industry. Fees through our vendors are increasing. Background check costs are going up. Screening costs are going up. License fees to states are going up. Housing costs for our travelers are going up. Margin compression, bill rate, compression is taking over. And there have been a lot of companies that have been trying to do everything to stay relevant and hang on. And I do see and have witnessed, within the last 30 days, several of the companies that have given it the best college try are just folding up shop and moving on. So where I see the opportunity, unfortunately, is in probably taking some of that market share from some of the companies that are just not going to be around for the remainder of the year.
Yep. Which is sad to say, because some of those are our friends.
Lots of them are friends, and lots of them are great companies, and lots of them have well-intended leaders that just, it was a really, really tough time the last 2, 3, 4 years to start a company within this industry.
Yep, exactly. All right, well, thank you, sir, so much. I appreciate it. You're on the road here coming up. I'm on the road at the end of May, and then I'm doing an online conference called Talent Track with our friends at Track 5 Media and a lot of our friends in the industry in June. So I'll tell you what, let's meet back here mid-June. And let's recap kind of where we're at and what we've seen, and maybe give it the 6 month how the industry has changed.
We can do that.
All right.
All righty.
We'll see you next time.